If the words on the page seem a little fuzzier these days, if you're squinting at street signs or struggling to read the dosage on your medicine bottle, let me say something right up front. It's not just you, and it's not your fault. After age 60, changes in our vision aren't just common, they're expected. But what most people don't realize is this. Those small changes can snowball into something far more serious, even life-altering. I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Ageless Garden, where we explore simple, science-backed ways to help you live longer, stronger, and with more confidence. Today's video is especially close to my heart because it's about something too many seniors quietly fear: losing their vision, their independence, and the life they love. But what if I told you there are 3 everyday foods, yes, foods, that can help protect your eyesight naturally? One of them might be in your fridge right now. Here's the good news. Vision loss after 60 isn't just a waiting game. Your body, especially your eyes, are incredibly responsive to what you feed them. And I'm not just talking about supplements or pills. Real, whole foods contain powerful compounds that can strengthen your vision, reduce your risk of cataracts, and even help reverse early signs of degeneration. In this video, we'll walk through 3 of the most powerful foods to boost eye health, the 3 silent culprits that may be damaging your vision daily, and a simple eating plan to help you protect your sight, starting today. Let's start with what I consider the foundation of natural eyesight protection: leafy green vegetables. They may seem humble, the kind of thing you pass by in the produce aisle without much thought. But when it comes to your eyes, they are nothing short of extraordinary. Here's why. Inside your eye is a small but critical area called the macula. It's responsible for your central vision, reading, recognizing faces, seeing the detail in a flower, or the words on your phone. As we age, the macula is vulnerable to damage, especially from inflammation, poor circulation, and exposure to harsh light. But there are 2 pigments that act like internal sunglasses, shielding and nourishing your macula from within: lutein and zeaxanthin. And guess where we find them in abundance? That's right, in leafy greens like kale, watercress, and spinach. Let's talk about kale for a moment. In just 1 serving, kale can deliver 25 milligrams of lutein and zeaxanthin. That's on par with, or even more than, what you'll find in many over-the-counter eye health supplements. But the advantage of food over pills is this. In food, these compounds come packaged with vitamin K, fiber, and antioxidants, which help reduce inflammation and support blood vessels throughout your eyes and brain. Another powerhouse is watercress, one of the most overlooked greens. Just 1 cup contains a gentle dose of vitamin A, which your retina needs to function in low-light conditions. Ever notice your night vision declining? That could be a signal your vitamin A levels are running low. Watercress also contains vitamin C and iron, which help improve oxygen delivery to your retinal tissues, a vital process that begins to slow down with age. Then we have broccoli. Now, broccoli doesn't get much love these days, especially the stalks, which most people throw away. But in those stalks lies a compound called sulforaphane, which has been shown in research to lower inflammation, protect against oxidative stress, and reduce the risk of conditions like diabetic retinopathy. That's the kind of damage high blood sugar can do to the delicate blood vessels in your eyes. When I first met Mr. Arnold, he was 73 and visibly frustrated. "Doc," he said, "I haven't driven at night in years. Everything's just a blur. My glasses aren't helping anymore." I reviewed his chart and saw early signs of macular degeneration. But instead of reaching for a prescription pad, I asked him to do something different. "I want you to eat kale and broccoli 3 times a week. Just 3. Nothing fancy. Steam it, saute it, however you like." 3 months later, he came back in. His face was different, calmer, even hopeful. "Doc, I can read street signs again. Not perfectly, but better than I have in years." Now, was that kale alone? Probably not. But what matters is that his body responded to nourishment. His blood vessels, once inflamed and weakening, were getting what they needed to start healing. If you're thinking, "I don't like kale," don't worry. You don't need a plateful every day. Even adding a handful of spinach to your eggs, a scoop of watercress to your soup, or some broccoli to your dinner a few times a week can make a real difference. Because leafy greens don't just help you survive aging, they help your eyes remember how to thrive. Now that we've laid the foundation with leafy greens, let's bring in the color. Brightly colored vegetables. I like to think of these as your internal repair team. Reds, oranges, deep yellows. These vegetables don't just make your plate more beautiful, they deliver the pigments and nutrients your eyes need to heal from the damage that naturally builds up with age. What kind of damage? Think of it like this. Every day your eyes are exposed to sunlight, screen light, pollution, and internal inflammation. Over time, this creates oxidative stress, which acts like rust in your tissues, gradually breaking down the tiny, delicate cells in your retina and macula. But nature gave us a brilliant defense system. Compounds like beta-carotene, lycopene, and lutein, found in these colorful vegetables, don't just sit in your system. They actively seek out and neutralize oxidative stress, like a cleanup crew. They also support collagen, strengthen blood vessels, and reduce the risk of cataracts and macular degeneration. Let's start with a vegetable many of us already love, red bell peppers. Did you know that per calorie, they contain more vitamin C than an orange? That matters because vitamin C is critical for the capillaries in your retina. These are tiny blood vessels that deliver oxygen and nutrients to the light-sensitive cells that allow you to see. Without enough support, they weaken, swell, and leak, leading to blurred vision or even vision loss. But with consistent vitamin C, those vessels stay strong and flexible. Next up is one of my seasonal favorites, persimmons. That soft orange flesh is packed with lutein, and it's also rich in flavonoids, natural plant compounds that help reduce inflammation and protect against the blood sugar swings that damage eye tissues, especially in older adults. In fact, studies show that flavonoids can help prevent diabetic eye damage by calming the blood vessels and reducing oxidative load. Then there's tomatoes, often overlooked, but a true gift for aging eyes. Their red color comes from a pigment called lycopene, which has been linked to a lower risk of cataracts and age-related macular degeneration. Lycopene is a powerful antioxidant that protects your eyes from UV damage and chronic inflammation. And here's the bonus. Unlike some nutrients, lycopene becomes more bioavailable when tomatoes are cooked, meaning tomato sauce, paste, or even a warm bowl of tomato soup is actually good for your eyes. Of course, no conversation about eye health is complete without the classic, carrots. You've heard the old saying, carrots are good for your eyes. And it's true. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene, which your body converts into vitamin A critical nutrient for the surface of your eye and low-light vision. But more than that, the carotenoids in carrots act like tiny firefighters, quenching free radicals before they can ignite inflammation in your eye tissues. I'll never forget Mrs. Linda, one of my longtime patients. She came to me at 69, frustrated by how often she had to reach for her reading glasses. I feel like I'm fading, she said, and I miss cooking without squinting at the labels. Instead of overwhelming her with changes, we started simple. A few baby carrots with lunch, cherry tomatoes in her salad, and slices of red bell pepper as an afternoon snack. 3 months later, she returned with a lightness in her step. Doc, I made a lasagna last week and didn't need my glasses to read the recipe card. That hasn't happened in years. These aren't just nutrients. They're signals to your body to repair, restore, and renew. And they're not exotic or expensive. You can find them in the same grocery store aisle where you've always shopped, just waiting to be chosen with purpose. Your eyes are constantly working to serve you. These vibrant vegetables, they're your way of giving something back. Now let's talk about one that might surprise you, a sweet, familiar fruit that often hides in plain sight. Strawberries. Most people think of them as a treat, something to dip in chocolate or sprinkle on cereal. But if you're over 60, strawberries may quietly be one of the most powerful foods to improve eyesight and help protect against vision loss you didn't even know was coming. You see, as we age, one of the most dangerous threats to our eyesight doesn't come from the front of the eye. It comes from deep inside. It's something called abnormal blood vessel growth. That's when the body, sensing poor oxygen flow in the eyes, tries to compensate by building new blood vessels. But here's the problem. Those new vessels are weak, leaky, and unstable. Instead of helping, they cause more damage. That's how conditions like macular degeneration and diabetic retinopathy can rapidly progress. Now here's the twist. Strawberries contain a natural compound called ellagic acid, and its superpower is this. It helps your body stop that unnecessary vessel growth before it starts. Think of ellagic acid as a kind of traffic cop for your eyes. It tells your body, we don't need new roads. Let's fix the ones we've got. And that small action can dramatically slow and sometimes reverse the silent damage happening in your retina. But strawberries don't stop there. They're also rich in flavonoids, plant compounds that protect your blood vessels from high blood sugar, inflammation, and oxidative stress. This is especially important if you're living with diabetes or prediabetes, where even small sugar spikes can harm the delicate capillaries in your eyes. Flavonoids calm those storms. They strengthen the vessel walls, improve circulation, and help oxygen get where it needs to go. There's even research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry showing that regular consumption of strawberries can help lower LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, and improve overall blood flow. That matters because what supports your heart and arteries also supports your vision. It's all connected. I remember a man named George, a retired school bus driver in his late 70s. He was sharp, witty, full of stories, but quietly he'd been struggling with his vision. Colors look dull, he told me. Reading the newspaper just feels like a chore now. He also admitted to having a bit of a sweet tooth. Cookies, cake, soda, the usual comfort foods. Now, I didn't ask George to give it all up. That rarely works, especially when something's been part of your routine for decades. Instead, I said, George, let's try a swap. Every morning, I want you to eat 5 or 6 fresh strawberries. Put them in your oatmeal, have them on the side with your eggs, or just eat them plain. Just start there. 3 months later, George came in with a smile on his face and color in his cheeks. Doc, he said, I'm starting to see the numbers on my remote again. And I swear, my eyes don't feel as dry. I'm seeing the world a little more clearly now. Was it a miracle? No. It was momentum. A small, consistent change that his body could build on. Now, a quick tip if you're shopping for strawberries. Whenever possible, go for organic. When strawberries are grown without pesticides, they naturally produce more ellagic acid as a defense mechanism. And lucky for us, that means a stronger dose of the very compound our eyes crave. You don't need to eat a whole pint every day, just a handful. A little bit of sweetness, working quietly behind the scenes to protect your vision, your independence, and the colors of the life you love. Now that we've explored the foods that nourish and protect your eyes, we need to talk about something just as important. The foods that silently sabotage your vision. These are the everyday items many of us grew up with, the ones we've come to rely on for convenience, comfort, or quick energy. But for your eyes, especially after 60, they can be deeply destructive. The first one might be sitting in your fridge or pantry right now, soda. Whether it's regular or diet, soda poses a triple threat to your eyesight. Let's start with sugar. Just one can of soda contains enough sugar to spike your blood glucose levels, and every spike damages the tiny, fragile blood vessels in your retina. These are the vessels responsible for carrying oxygen to the light-sensitive cells in your eye. Over time, elevated sugar acts like sandpaper on those vessels, weakening them until they rupture or close off entirely. That's how diabetic retinopathy starts. And once it begins, it can progress rapidly. Now, you might think switching to diet soda helps, but here's the catch. Artificial sweeteners, especially in large amounts, disrupt your gut-brain axis, the communication highway between your digestive system and your nervous system. This matters because the eyes are part of your central nervous system, and studies suggest that long-term use of artificial sweeteners may increase the risk of neurodegenerative issues, including eye-related nerve dysfunction. So whether it's sugar or sweetener, soda creates inflammation, damages circulation, and accelerates the very conditions that rob you of vision. That harmless treat at lunch, it's not so harmless after all. The second enemy is one you've probably leaned on during busy days. Ultra-processed foods. Think frozen dinners, snack chips, fast food, packaged baked goods. Anything that's been altered far from its original form. These products are full of refined oils, preservatives, and stabilizers, all of which increase oxidative stress in the body. For your eyes, that means a higher load of free radicals attacking retinal cells and degrading the quality of your vision. They also clog up the arteries that supply oxygen-rich blood to your optic nerve. What's worse, these foods often lack the protective nutrients, like antioxidants and healthy fats, that your eyes desperately need. It's like feeding your body empty calories and asking it to defend itself with no armor. And the third culprit, processed meats, deli slices, sausages, bacon, salami, and hot dogs. These foods are high in sodium, nitrates, and preservatives, all of which irritate and stiffen your blood vessels. That includes the microscopic vessels in your retina, which are incredibly sensitive to pressure and oxygen flow. When these vessels lose their flexibility, your eyes can't get the nutrients they need. Over time, this can lead to optic nerve damage, blurred vision, and in severe cases, vision loss that becomes permanent. I think of my patient Elaine, a retired nurse who was always on the go. She often relied on frozen meals or deli meat sandwiches to save time, but by her late 60s, her vision was deteriorating fast. She told me she'd stopped driving at night and had trouble reading her mail. We made one major change, replacing processed foods with simple fresh meals, even basic stuff like grilled chicken, fresh greens, and whole fruit. Within 2 months, Elaine came back with tears in her eyes. I don't know if it's just the food, she said, but I feel awake again. My eyes aren't as strained. I'm seeing better, and I didn't think that was possible. Food is powerful. It can heal or it can harm. And the biggest danger is that the most harmful foods don't cause sudden pain. They work slowly, silently, eroding your vision while you go about your life. But here's the hopeful part. Every harmful food you remove creates space for a healing one to step in. Every time you say no to soda or a processed snack, you're saying yes to your vision, your clarity, and your independence. So now you know which foods can nourish your eyes and which ones can quietly steal your vision. But the real magic happens when you start putting this knowledge into daily action. That's why I want to give you something simple, practical, and easy to remember. A daily eating plan designed to protect and improve your eyesight naturally. Let's start with breakfast, the first opportunity of the day to send a healing message to your body. Instead of sugary cereal or a breakfast pastry, try a bowl of steel-cut oatmeal topped with fresh strawberries. This pairing does double duty. The fiber in the oats helps stabilize your blood sugar, while the strawberries provide ellagic acid and flavonoids to support your retinal vessels. If you prefer a savory option, scramble a couple of eggs and saute them with kale or spinach in olive oil. Those leafy greens will load you up with lutein, zeaxanthin, and vitamin K, key nutrients to filter blue light and protect your macula. For lunch, think color and crunch. Build a fresh salad using red bell peppers, carrots, and tomatoes. Add a few walnuts for healthy fats, drizzle with olive oil, and maybe top it with grilled chicken or a hard-boiled egg for protein. Every bite you take here is an investment. The pigments in the peppers, the beta-carotene in the carrots, the lycopene in the tomatoes, all working together to fight oxidative stress and strengthen your eyes from within. Dinner can be just as healing. Try a plate of roasted broccoli with garlic, served alongside grilled salmon or chicken. Broccoli provides vitamins C and E, plus sulforaphane, a potent compound that helps reduce inflammation, especially in people with diabetes or high blood pressure. Garlic adds natural circulation-boosting properties, and the protein helps keep your blood sugar steady overnight. Need a snack between meals? Forget the chips or cookies. Instead, reach for a handful of cherry tomatoes, a few slices of organic persimmon, or even a small bowl of fresh fruit. These aren't just better for your waistline, they actively support your vision. And now let's talk about simple food swaps. These are the little changes that add up over time. Soda? Swap it for sparkling water with a squeeze of lemon or lime. You'll hydrate without the sugar spikes. Processed meats like ham or salami? Replace them with grilled chicken, tuna, or even a couple of boiled eggs. Frozen dinners? Try prepping just 1 or 2 homemade meals each week in larger batches, like a tray of roasted vegetables and protein, and keep them in your fridge, ready to go. This isn't about perfection. It's about consistency. Your eyes don't need you to follow a complicated diet. They just need you to show up for them, meal after meal, with intention. The foods that boost eye health aren't exotic. They're not expensive, and they're not out of reach. In fact, they might already be in your kitchen. Remember, how to improve eyesight naturally isn't a mystery. It's a menu. And every meal is a chance to choose clarity, vitality, and freedom. You don't have to accept fading vision as an inevitable part of aging. Every bite you take can either nourish your eyes or wear them down, and the choice is yours every single day. Even if you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, your body can still respond, still heal, still improve. Remember, food isn't just fuel, it's information. It tells your body what to repair, what to protect, and what to grow stronger. Start small, stay consistent, and believe that better vision and a brighter, more independent life is within reach. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this with someone you love.